I just want to read what Noctis does.
Oh, it's weird.
That is pretty weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like artifact spells from the graveyard. You can cast by paying additional 3 life.
Huh.
Then you put a finality counter on them, so that if they leave, then you don't get them back in the graveyard. They get exiled afterwards. It's definitely not. I thought out of all the characters that I thought could be like a Voltron character, despite how many of them are in this set, that could definitely be that. Noctis was one of them that I thought, and then it just kind of went the opposite direction. And I was like, okay.
That seems incredibly niche.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's the correct colors for its effect, but...
I mean, yeah, but...
Yeah, but it's like,
The actual effect itself. Oh, well, we should probably do an intro, right?
I guess. Hello, and welcome to another episode of It Never Ends. I'm Andrew. Over there is my good buddy Alex. How you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm glad we actually had an intro this week.
Final Fantasy cards to talk about because the live stream happened and it was really fucking cool. If you haven't watched that, it was almost 2 hours, I believe, live stream, and it just ended with Clive's, because Ben Starr was the voice actor for Clive, but he was also the one hosting it. So they were like, I've been sitting up here for 2 hours waiting to reveal this card, and he just has it on his shirt. He's like, yeah, I've been baking under that thing. But yeah, it's like we finally got some more of the Final Fantasy cards, and they're really cool.
No surprise, no surprise.
Exactly.
So you satisfied with all the cards that have been revealed so far?
I think for the most part. I think there's only a few that I was just kind of that's kind of weird. We were kind of talking Noctis or whatever, and I was like, that one's a little weird for that, but sure, go for it.
Does a single one hype Jumbo Cactuar for you?
If anything, Jumbo Cactuar is in the back of my mind, and I have no thoughts about Jumbo Cactuar at this moment. No, I've already begun making my Lightning Army of 1 deck.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'll probably be adding a few more just because of some of the new cards that have been released that would be useful in this. At least been spoiled. The Bahamut is as crazy as I thought it'd be. Yeah, it's pretty wild because it's 9 mana, 9 colorless mana, so it can go in anything. It's a 9/9 flyer, and all the summons, and it's a saga. So it's 1 is destroy a target non-land permanent, 2 is also destroyed non-land permanent. 3 draw 2 cards. It's pretty good. And then it's big move Mega Flare. It's this creature deals combat damage or deals damage equal to the total number of mana value to all other permanents you control. So all
which, if you're playing a card like that,
and each opponent, and you're just holy shit.
Yeah,
it's pretty nutty. I'm waiting to
you
figure
put that
out
in something like the name is escaping me. Keep going.
I was I'm still trying to figure out which one's the One Ring, because I'm I feel like the Buster Sword has the potentiality of being the best of the swords, but that one hasn't been revealed at this moment. But Bahamut's up there as one of the craziest. Odin's fucking insane too, because his second ability is just oh yeah, if this creature deals any combat damage to a player, that player just loses the game. You're oh,
that's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. It's 6 mana, 5/3. It's lower stats because of that. But destroy target creature an opponent controls for 1. 2 is this creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Just, reason why it's a 5/3. So.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. Do you know what card is actually probably the craziest and probably has the most interesting mechanic, interesting thing in my mind? is the Sephiroth Fabled Soldier. It's the mono black one that has like they can like transform.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Dude, that is wild because it's like when it enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature, and then if you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved, you transform Sephiroth into Sephiroth One Wing Angel. Big surprise there. Comes a 5/5, he's a flyer, and then as this creature transforms into Sephiroth One Wing Angel, you get an emblem. Which is crazy because we've only ever seen emblems on on Planeswalker abilities. This is the first time we've ever seen it on a creature. And that just basically reads like what its front effect is whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses a life, you gain a life. Okay. If you play Aristocrats at all, this card will be in the deck list for sure.
Oh yeah,
if
100%.
not just the straight up commander, like you can play mono black Aristocrats or whatever with just Sephiroth alone. I feel like that'll be pretty good.
For black, this is absolutely perfect. You know how nuts that transform ability would go with some like decks that are heavy on sacrificing things.
And the thing is like okay, so you get Sephiroth out there, you transform him, you get the emblem or whatever. Say he dies for whatever reason, or like maybe you sacrifice him to an ability or whatever. You then replay, assuming that he's your commander, you replay Sephiroth Fabled Soldier, flip him again, you have 2 of those emblems.
Oh yeah.
You can continually stack these emblems.
And you can't get rid of emblems.
Nope.
Emblems, like, those are there to stay.
Emblems are the only uninteractable things in pretty much all of the game of Magic.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very, there's nothing that gets rid of those. So it's pretty nutty. It was pretty cool to also see kind of like the with a lot of the characters. And some of the characters that aren't the main characters that are like that also got it with cards. Like I wasn't expecting Fang and Vanille to get their own cards, and they meld together. I thought that was pretty cool.
The Absolute Virtue seems pretty nutty, at least.
Yeah, the thing they transform into.
No.
Absolute Virtue? Yeah, that card.
This spell can't be countered. You have protection from each of your opponents.
It's only an 8, 1 blue, 1 white, 6 avatar creature that says can't be countered flying, and you have protection from each of your opponents, and it's an 8/8.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just yeah, that's the time.
Plus, oh man, the colors, it's blue-white. Imagine you put this in stacks.
No.
I hate myself for thinking of that, but
I mean, the thing is,
it's like
he's just like you play this on like any like blue deck that just cheats out shit too. It's like, oh, I'm gonna play Show and Tell. I'm gonna play Absolute Virtue with that. Cool. I guess I can't do anything. Hey, here's a 3-mana Absolute Virtue. Okay.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? You give that thing like hexproof or indestructible or both. I guess we're moving on to the next game. Because I have to then deal damage to you that's not targeting you. I guess it's not impossible, but like it's gonna get way harder.
Going back to the Buster Sword speculation, as you mentioned, there are a lot of different like commanders here that could use like a Voltron strategy. So we do have quite a few like artifact equipments like revealed already, but I feel like that's going to be the one, right? Since like a bunch of these,
Yeah, I agree. Like they have the ultimate weapon or whatever. It's like a 7-mana equipment that's like you can equip for 7. It's like gives target creature +7/+7, and when you attacks, you can destroy a permanent. It's arguably slightly worse Augmentum Armor because it's cost 1 more. Yeah, it's like... So, here it is, 7 mana. Whenever equipped a creature attacks, destroy target creature and opponent controls. It's not even permanent. I thought it was permanent. Because, remember that Augmentum Armor is 6 mana, and it gives target creature +6/+6, and with an equip of 6. But it says destroy target permanent on attack. And this one's destroy target creature and opponent controls. So, funny enough, the armor is better than the ultimate weapon, which is very funny.
Yeah. You know something else that I'm seeing here?
Hmm?
Obviously, we have a card for Blathier and Fran, right?
Yeah.
But it's a vehicle focus, and they haven't revealed any vehicles yet.
No. Yeah, that's... I assume those are coming, because it kind of feels like how they're doing a lot of they're doing these ones or whatever, because like Final Fantasy X kind of got the spotlight. 7, I feel like, was the spotlight of like the stream,
Like
along with like
reveals?
15
Yeah.
or 16. So we'll get to it, I assume.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I saw this one before just now. Ultimia, the Origin of Oblivion, and it's like a 5 mana colorless creature that is flying, and then whenever it attacks, you put a blight counter on target land for as long as that land has a blight counter on it. It loses all land types and abilities, and you just tap to produce a colorless. But then you could have just stuck with that, but instead they also decided to add this line of text: whenever you tap a colorless land, add an additional colorless land.
Do
you want to go even crazier with Eldrazi's? Because we got it. We got you. Oh, your opponent has all these lands that do a bunch of shit. Not no more. Not no more. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. I saw Ultimate Weapon, and I thought that was the Buster Sword.
Yeah, it looks a lot like it, because
that's
it's also Cloud holding it, but, you know.
Yeah, that's my bad.
It is not the Buster Sword. And a lot of people think that the Buster Sword is going to be broken, because we know it's 3 mana, and we know it's an equipment, obviously. But there's the Cloud card that got revealed, which is the 2 white. And then it's like, because you could, so like, when it enters, you search for an equipment, put it in your hand. And then, as long as like Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, it triggers an additional time. So people are thinking he's probably going to have an on attack ability, for sure. I would have to agree. But who else knows what that could be? I can't wait till the Buster Sword just like, when this enters the battlefield, if there's a creature named Cloud in its name or whatever, you can instantly equip this to Cloud and make our mercenary or something like that. And you're like, son of a bitch.
I mean, it would work, though, that way. It's like, yeah, it's the Buster Sword. It's his sword. Let him equip it for free.
I mean, I guess. What if it was if there's Zach Fair or Cloud Strife on the battlefield, then you can equip it to them instantly.
Sure. Why not?
Look, we gotta get Zach in there, because his card was very thematically for him, but it's like kind of doo doo.
What is Zach's card? I'm not sure if I've seen that one yet.
It's like 1 white, and then you can like pay. Where was it? I saw it earlier. Yeah. So it's 1 white. Zach enters with a 1/1 counter. Pay 1, sacrifice it. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Put Zach Fair's counter on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zach Fair to that creature.
Huh. That's
extra protection for like Cloud deck.
Yeah.
You know, or just any Voltron. I mean, the thing is with a lot of these, because like we've kind of been talking about, it's like it feels like they're trying to like give Voltron a lot of bonus cards to work with here.
Exists solely to die and give all his cool stuff to Cloud and saves Cloud's life.
Well, it's just like between like the Zac card, there's like Barret, there's like a mono red Barret that says when this attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control to a defending player. Thing is like with the idea of that is that it wants you to go wide with equip strategies when it feels like equip strategies have always been you just kind of stack one creature just massively and throw like a ton of keywords on them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm just like, I don't really know how that's going to work out.
I mean, that's typically how Voltron typically works, is you have like a main creature and you just equip everything to that creature.
Yeah, because I feel like a majority of the decks are just like, your commander you run is going to be the creature you want to equip all the stuff onto, and basically your rest of your deck is a few creatures that benefit from having all these equipments or whatever, or stuff like that, or help the thing or whatever. But for the most part, it's like most of your deck is equipment cards, tutoring out equipment cards, or extra protection and lands. So it's just like now we're adding more creatures into our Voltron deck, which is going to make it less good because you're drawing less equipment then. You're spending more mana on those creatures instead of just putting the equipment onto the battlefield, while at the same time trying to find a way to cheat these weapons onto the creature you want equipped in. Because no one ever pays for the equip cost. Who does that? I mean, come on. I see what they're trying to do. I just don't see it particularly working. Like, creature tokens, it works, I guess. Like, if you can make a bunch of creature tokens and then equip stuff onto them, like I know a bunch of Nahiris do that, where it's like, oh, create this 1/1 core and attach an equipment to it or whatever. And it was like, okay, yeah, I guess. But I'm not not really gonna play that many extra creatures. Oh, I didn't see Elena got a card. Enter return target non-assassin historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay.
So you're the Final Fantasy guy. How do you feel about the cards that we've gotten so far?
They're good. They're really good, honestly.
Nice.
I like the thematically of them. I like that Sid didn't just get like a bunch of cards or whatever. It's the same card, but there's 16 different artworks for Sid, Timeless Adventure, and then it's like you can play any number of Sids in your deck. So it's just like, oh, it's like the Lord of the Rings set where they had 9 different arts for the Nazgul.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I was just like, yes. Although I was kind of hoping that, I know there's a few games where the Sid character is actually really important. I know 7 has a Sid character that travels with the party, along with there's like the one that I like the most is Sidolphus from Final Fantasy 16. And I'm kind of hoping he still gets a card, but I'm feeling it's probably not going to happen because I feel like that was the whole point with having the 16 different Sids. It's still cool though. I like that little flare. It was nice. Although I see Sid Free Fire Pilot did get it, won the one from 7, so it's like it's not another question. Considering how they did the 16 cards too, it's like you got Clive Ifrit's Dominant or whatever, where it's like he transforms into Ifrit, along with Jill, who turns into Shiva. So it's like. Also, I just want to point out for a second, that Clive card by itself could make a mono red deck and just, I think, be legitimately really good.
The Clive card?
Yeah. Because it's just like, it's like a 6 mana, it's 6 mana 5/5. When it enters, you discard your hand and then you draw cards equal to your devotion to red. So if you just have like a bunch of cards out that are like red, so it's like, oh, I have played all my hand here. I've got 1 card left in hand. All right, let's just discard it, draw 5 new cards. And then it's like, oh, pay 6 and exile Clive and then return it transformed on the battlefield. And you get Ifrit, which is, I think his like first one is like, oh yeah, he fights target creature. And then for the next like 2 turns, he just adds 4 red to your mana pool. And it's also a 9/9.
Okay.
So, between raw stats, adding extra mana, drawing cards, kind of everything that red really wants.
Basically, yeah.
It's just all wrapped up in 1 card. I'm like, that's insane.
Dude, some of Clive's full arts are insanely cool.
They're so sexy. Yeah. Like I'm holding out hope that a Sidolphus card comes through because it'd be really cool. I also like how they're doing some of like the early on like Final Fantasy games where it's just like they were kind of like faceless heroes. So they have like this keyword called job select where you like it creates like a colorless 1/1 hero basically, and the idea is to make the hero bigger and stronger through other means. And I'm just like, all right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like the crystal's chosen or whatever. It's kind of like it's a 7 mana sword. I didn't realize it was 7 mana. It's like create 4 1/1 colorless heroes, and then put 1/1 counter on each creature you control for 7 mana. That's a lot of mana. I'm also so glad Arden got his own card, and it's really interesting because I wasn't sure how to feel about it right off the bat, and then I reread it and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is kind of nutty. Now it's 8 mana for a 4/4. Not great stats for 8 mana, but it says demons you control have menace, lifelink, and haste.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty wild. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard. If it's exiled this way, you create a token copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon. Just constantly creating demons into more demons.
Not even your graveyard, from a graveyard.
Yeah, so if your opponent has like a bunch of stuff that's like, oh, this is like a really great creature or whatever, so it's just like, okay, I'll take that. It's pretty neat. I also quite like how they're doing the different magic or whatever. There's like ice and fire magic where it's like you pay the 1, and then you can choose like if you want to just do fire, or you can do Firera or Figrera, and then you just have to pay extra mana for each one.
Mm.
And I'm just like, yes. There's a bunch of cards. I don't want to just talk about all of them, but I was like, those are the standouts in my mind. So Alex, are you gonna travel? Are you gonna try and get one of the 77 golden chocobos?
Oh, you know I will. I need my birds.
Oh man. I like how
why
it's just like
77?
I'm not really sure why it was 77, to be honest with you. I didn't really hear the reasoning. But I like how it's just like, oh, you can look at the top card of your library with the traveling chocobo, but then it's like you can play lands or just cast bird spells. And I'm like, is there I feel like if there was birds, they wouldn't be in mono green, but
no.
Is there a bird archetype? It definitely isn't mono green, I'll tell you that.
They have birds of paradise.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the only bird I can think of that's a mono green. Ugh.
It's cool though. It has the flavors there.
It does, it really does though. Sometimes that's all that really matters in the end, right?
Mm.
We got lands with adventures on them, which are kind of interesting. I don't really know how relevant that's going to be. I guess the idea is that even if you top deck a land late in the game, at least you can cast it for its sorcery. But I feel like from the ones I've seen or whatever, which I guess I don't even know if are all of them even out yet? All of them been revealed yet? I only see like 3 of them.
There's a meld card.
There's a couple. Oh yeah, there's the Fang in the Vanille card, which I feel like I'm obligated to just put into my my Necrobloom deck just because it'd be funny.
What does it do? I'm not seeing Fang.
It basically melds with the creature because it's like Vanille is like where is she? Vanille is like whenever a creature leaves, or like when it enters, you like mill 2 cards or something like that, and then you can like at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you like can pay 5 if you control both Fang and Vanille. You can create it, and you can it just becomes like Ragnarok or whatever, and it becomes like a 7/6 with Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, and Haste. And then when it dies, you just destroy target permanent and return target non-legendary permanent to your battlefield. Not that it's that great, but like
no, it's cool though.
It's neat. just find it funny that they included a meld card.
I just think meld is such a cool mechanic, and I wish more cards would do that.
But then you remind yourself it's really difficult to do sometimes.
I know. That's why, if you're able to do it, there should be like a big reward for it.
I mean, it's usually a big creature, so
yeah,
that's always the problem. It's like, oh, you want to make this like really difficult to do, but at the same time, it's like with tutors and stuff like that, it's really actually not that hard to do. So we can't make it too powerful, but we do want to make it powerful. Oh, I misread the Xanarkin one because I was like, the Xanarkin Ancient Metropolis. It's a green land that taps for green. It comes in tapped, but it has the adventure, like I said, where it's like you create a 1/1 colorless hero token, and you put a 1/1 counter on it for each land you control. For 6 mana, it's like, okay, 6 mana, you play that. Most likely, you're only going to have like 6 mana. So you create a 1 with 6. I do love the card Avalanche of Sector 7 or whatever. It's like because it's like it punishes your opponent for playing artifacts, and I think that's kind of funny. Because like it's 3 mana, it's got menace. Avalanche's power is equal to the number of artifacts your opponents control, so it's a X3 basically. And then whenever your opponent activates an ability of an artifact they control, it just deals 1 damage to that player. It punishes you for using artifacts, which I think is kind of funny.
So we should be getting some more reveals for these somewhat soon. It drops in September, right?
Yeah, they're dropping in June. It's like June 13th is when the set comes out.
Oh shit!
So literally a month away from recording this. Like 30 days.
I would have figured that they would have revealed a bit more in this then.
No, I mean that's why they've been like after the live stream, they've been like basically just giving out cards left and right to everyone to just reveal. It's like just do this.
Okay.
So it's like, trust me, probably by the end of next week we'll probably have the whole set, or pretty damn close to it.
Damn, man, that's nuts. This is really cool though.
Yeah, I hope we actually get a Joshua card because I would love to see. I was like, I want to see Joshua and Sidolphus for Final Fantasy 16. So it can like done just like Clive's and Jill's card. Don't think that'll happen, considering that Joshua basically got like a. It's like a special version of it that's just Ragran, son of Ragrath or whatever. It's like the 01. So it's just like, it's kind of lame, but it's fine. Guess it wouldn't be that much different from Clive anyway, so I guess I can't be too mad.
Yeah, it's stuff like this that makes me wish we still played Magic.
Yeah. I mean, we can. It's just,
We usually don't, yeah.
All I know is I'm going to be spending far too much of my money on this set, probably.
Yeah. I was going to say, for you in particular. I do find it kind of funny how Rinwa's card really doesn't synergize with Squall at all. You figured it would have.
Yeah. It's like, did they reveal? I thought I remember saying that they revealed the whole list for the Commander Precons.
Do we know what the Commander Precons are yet?
Yeah, we do. We've known them for a little bit now. It's like the Cloud X Soldier, the Terra, Herald's Hope, Tidus is Yuna's Guardian, Yuzhova, Knight's Blessed. Along with like a bunch of other ones that are like the secondary ones. I think those were some of the first cards revealed pretty much. It's like Magic, I feel like between Tarkir Dragonstorm and this set is going to get a lot like it's going to bring a lot of money. Because I'm sure Tarkir Dragonstorm sold a lot with just how crazy those cards were.
Did that set come out already?
Oh yeah, it's been out.
Oh shit, I'm behind. I'm sorry.
Are you good? It's like I know that Elspeth is super good as we anticipated. The Ugin is pretty much busted. To no one's shocker. I just quickly just wanted to see like what pre-sales were for like all the cards or whatever, and it's like, yeah, way overpriced as you always anticipate, but it's like I'm just like, how crazy is it? The fact that Jumbo Cactuar, the base Jumbo Cactuar right now is going for $41, and the Summon Bahamut is going for $47. Bruh, you're telling me that Jumbo Cactuar is just as good as the Summon Bahamut? Get the fuck out of here.
You can do some pretty nutty stuff with the Jumbo Cactuar.
I understand that, but to say it's on par with Bahamut is fucking nutty to me.
No, it's not, but it's funnier and people like that.
Exactly.
Did you hear the news that came out today about the Nintendo EULA that's coming with the Switch 2?
Oh, yeah.
Where Nintendo can just say, hey, you did something that we didn't like, so we're going to brick your console.
Yep. I did see that, and I'm just like, wow.
That's fucked.
That's something. I just don't understand it. And it's like, and they'll still sell out within the hour, and I'm just like, what is wrong? What is going on, people? I mean, yeah. Could you imagine just going like, oh yeah, I want to mod my Switch 2 or whatever to play Breath of the Wild or whatever, and Nintendo finds out and just goes, no, so you no longer own a Nintendo Switch 2. It's just a brick piece of shit. And I'm like, what? Can't wait to do the same thing with the original Switches or whatever in like a year. They'll find a way.
Like, what kind of things are they expecting? Like, are they expecting you to install, like, emulators and shit, and that's why they want to...
No, they don't want you to install anything that's not Nintendo already pre-approved.
I know. I'm wondering if, like, this is targeting anything specific, or if it's just, like, everything in
they see
the
how
conceivable
they see
universe.
People doing, like, randomizers or whatever for, like, Breath of the Wild or Tears of a Kingdom or whatever, and we're like, no, we don't want you doing that.
How dare people have fun with our video games?
How dare you even suggest that you could change our beloved game?
Why is Nintendo like this?
I don't know.
That's why I was thinking, like, this has to be like an anti-piracy kind of a thing, right?
I would have to believe so, but you'd never know, man.
Nintendo going down the all-digital route, basically.
I mean, yeah, considering they're not even, like just not even putting the games on the cartridges themselves. They're just like, no, this is just the key.
Yeah, to unlock the game.
Yeah. So I guess we don't actually own anything. Is that again? So all right, cool.
God, Nintendo was the last company I was expecting to go down that route.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like, I think we said it's just like, yeah, it's like we give it like another year, maybe two. Before like Sony and Microsoft just say, yeah, no more physical media whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I'm very much in the camp of I think the next PlayStation is going to be completely diskless.
Well,
along with whatever the hell.
I also just say that any games like released in like the next year or two probably won't even have physical releases at all.
Probably, yeah.
That's sad.
It is sad. You know what would still be cool? It's like, yeah, I'd prefer to own my media, but if they still put out, like... It feels weird calling them collector's editions if they don't come with, like, the physical game, but, that's like... True. I don't know, like, those big, like, collector's editions, like the one they just put out for, like, Doom the Dark Ages was pretty cool. If they still put out stuff like that, I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But no, we're very much in the era of you will own nothing and be happy about it.
You will own nothing and you will like it.
Dude, I feel like the movie industry, that's basically where we are already, and it
Yeah.
sucks, and I hate it.
Yeah,
Because it's
not-
like,
not
you know,
wrong.
obviously the next Mission Impossible is coming out, right? And I'm super hyped about it. So I was like, okay, I still don't own like the 4K Blu-ray for, you know, Dead Reckoning Part 1. I should go out and order that. The only way that you can order that is via a $45 Steelbook. Like, that is the only physical, like, in terms of like, or there's like a physical copy that you can like import from Europe, I guess. It's like those are your two options. Insane.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't need to get too much into it. It's on the list, but
It's true.
it's just sad.
Gone are the days of physical media. Even Nintendo's done it, so it's just like now you know it's officially dying.
That being said, even with this, do you feel like people are going to find a way to crack the Switch 2 and
Oh, you
upload
fucking
Switch?
know it.
They're gonna do that, and they're gonna upload a Switch 2 emulator and put Switch 2 games on the Steam Deck.
Do you think that deters people whatsoever? Fuck no.
No, absolutely not. The people that are gonna do this are gonna do it.
They'll do it just
regardless.
to spite Nintendo, and they're like, haha.
Mm.
And then like they'll try and like you're, it's just like 2-3 years or whatever. They'll like say like someone will come up with like a Switch 2 emulator or whatever. Nintendo will sue the Switch 2 emulator people or whatever, and then the players are gonna go on what basis? Oh, because you can walk around and walking around with Pokemon basically. All right, cool. That's not enough to go on.
Dude, you would be fucking shocked because it's like, yeah. Did you hear with the latest Pal World update? The developers have had to like take features out of the game.
Yeah, that's basically what I was kind of referencing there.
Yeah. That's so fucking dumb. I went to go see Thunderbolts last week.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was pretty good. I had to watch 8 hours of other shit in order to like really understand and appreciate it, but I saw it. And I mean that. If you haven't watched like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow, that is going to be a terribly difficult movie to watch. You need to have watched both in their entirety. And that's why like dude, I think people that have like been off the train, you know, with Marvel's like since Endgame, I really don't know how much they're going to be able to enjoy Doomsday. And I mean that like legitimately because it's like you can tell from watching the Thunderbolts that they're going to have a big presence in like the upcoming Avengers movie. So it's like, okay, so if you haven't watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, you're just going to be lost. And same thing with like I feel like that character Agatha is going to be in there. We already know that Moon Knight's going to be in that movie. So it's like people that have just been like, yeah, I really haven't watched much Marvel shit since Endgame. I feel like a lot of them are just going to be lost, and it's going to be so hard to enjoy because of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think.
I just feel like that Marvel has been taking the approach ever since Endgame where, and maybe this is a result of just the pandemic in general, but like, it's just like the part of the reason I think why a lot of people liked the MCU pre-COVID was that it was like so easy to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm bringing up stuff that we don't want to, but at the same time, it's like, but now it just feels like relevant, now.
There's more stuff that we can talk about. We're not reiterating it.
But right now, it just feels like the majority of like anything MCU related is just such an interconnected. Like you were saying, it's like you need to watch all these shows or whatever to do that to really enjoy it. And I feel like it goes pretty much against what they basically did for the first 10 years of the MCU in general, where it was like there were movies that you could pop in and pop out of and still understand what's going on.
Yeah. It's It's rough because it's like I feel like when they made that decision, they kind of dug their own grave, and at this point, they say they're gonna focus more on movies now, and that's what they're gonna like be doing going forward. But at this point, it's like, dude, too late. It's like at this point, it's like people are gonna that stuck with these shows are gonna want to see these characters in upcoming movies. Already have like John Walker and them as like mainstays in the MCU now.
Mm.
And people that are just being introduced to this character through Thunderbolts are going to be fucking confused. He's a great character. In my opinion, he's one of the like big highlights of the movie.
Yeah.
I find his character super fun, but it's just weird. That's why I've just been getting a feeling in the pit of my stomach that it's going to get the I don't like to call it this, but Destiny syndrome, where it's going to get to a point where it's like more movies are coming up and they've already gotten so deep where if people ask like, "Oh, is this a good time to get into the MCU?" No, absolutely not. Obviously they don't want to reset the whole thing. I think they came out and said they're vehemently against that. But it's like it's at the point where I think it's like if you're not an MCU fan already or you're not like deep into this fandom, really it's almost too much work to get into it.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like right as you were saying, I'm just like pretty much it's just like Marvel's doing the thing where it's like if you're a fan of Marvel and you're continue to be a fan of Marvel, you're gonna love what's going on. If you are somebody that hasn't watched since Endgame or maybe like No Way Home or something like that, it's like you are so lost. And I'm just like, and don't want to spend the time to try and figure out what the hell is going on. So I guess you just lost me. So,
it just reminded me when the Final Shape came out. I was like, oh, this looks really cool. Should I get into Destiny? And basically, like, every content creator in that space was like, no, absolutely not. This is a Destiny update for people that have been playing Destiny. If you either shouldn't or can't just jump in at this point. It's like, you have to go through all the other shit, and since they cut stuff out, you need to go watch lore videos on YouTube, and at that point, it's like, you know what, I may as well just not.
I also felt that kind of just the same way of just like any like long time running like online games like that. Like, if you wanted to get into fucking like WoW today, what the fuck? What the fuck is your life like?
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah, it's just that I think in of itself is insane.
To a lesser extent this, but getting into Kingdom Hearts when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out was a struggle. That was a lot of work on my part. That was a lot of games I had to play through, man.
Look, Alex, all you had to do was watch like this 1 3-hour video, and you would have got the whole thing.
I wanted to play the games, though.
That's fair.
Dude, Yakuza.
Yeah.
Fuck that series.
Just like anything like super long running like that or whatever. It's like even like Monster Hunter, like the Monster Hunter series. It's like, I mean, I guess those are easy enough that you could just jump in and out of from game to game. But it's like
basically there's no real like big interconnected story there.
But like assuming like okay, like let's say like how long has Wild's been out at this point? Not that long, right?
No.
So, but it's just like imagine like
months,
it sounds about right. In like a year's time, if they haven't come up with another Monster Hunter game, which I don't think they would at that point, but it's like I will assume they've probably announced a bunch of expansions, a bunch of new areas and stuff like that. It's like where do you even jump into? I don't know.
I think it might be a bit different with Wilds because Monster Hunter, it's a multiplayer game, right? So it's like it's easier because, and obviously I understand Destiny is a technically a multiplayer game too, but at the same time, I shouldn't be commenting. I don't play Monster Hunter, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, ignore everything that I'm saying.
No, but it's just like generally it just feels like people are you can get help from people probably or something like that. But
for multiplayer games, obviously it's like, yeah, just jump in any time. It's like, oh, well, what lore do I need to understand Overwatch? Oh, there is none. They were going to have lore, but then the devs said no story missions for you, so you're all cut up.
And no more story missions. We're just gonna put all the story of the game here.
Just read it on the fucking Overwatch wiki. You'll be fine.
They took the Dark Souls route of doing story, where it's you have to read the descriptions of weapons and items you find in the game. I could ask a person who's played Dark Souls 3 of 17 billion times, what's the story of Dark Souls 3? I don't know.
Dude, speaking of lore, something that really... this is Alex bitching about Dead by Daylight again. Something that's really upset me with the latest update is... this is everywhere on the R Dead by Daylight subreddit. It's the devs getting ready for the big Five Nights at Freddy's chapter that they think is going to bring a bunch of people into the game. Is that they dumbed everything down and challenges are not in the compendium anymore. They're just dailies, weeklies, typical shit for a multiplayer game like that. Which is fine. It still gives out some rewards, though not as many. The thing that I liked about the tome and the compendium is as you were going through and doing those challenges, it's you got bits of lore for doing that stuff, right? Obviously, it's different for licensed chapters, but it's if you have an original character, an original killer, you got to learn more about the entity maybe, or how they ended up in the realm. And Dead by Daylight actually has a really interesting story going on, and a lot of people are interpreting this as oh well, the lore is just gone now. The devs say no, we're gonna do some lore stuff in the future, but I don't know. I'm gonna miss that aspect of the game anyway. It also doesn't help that there's only going to be one original chapter coming out this next year. And a lot of people are talking about how Dead by Daylight has officially become Fortnite-ified.
Fortnite-ified.
I don't know. There's Fortnite-ification. I know people use that term a lot. I don't know the past tense of that, but where it's just
Fortified.
License after license. Yeah, where it's just license thing after license thing after license thing.
Yeah. I also think it just comes down to, how old of a game is Dead by Daylight at this point?
It came out in 2018, I think. The game is... I know it's the game's 9-year anniversary. Coming up here in, I think, late May, early June. Came out in 2016.
Yeah, do 9 years of original content, and eventually you just get to the point where it's just I don't know what to do anymore. It's
come on, they can.
I know
there's
a bunch of creative people that definitely could come up with some really creative shit, but it's just the incentive isn't there.
I guess not. When you have basically every license holder in the universe begging to work with your game, sure.
Alex, I'm gonna bring this to the argument that we always did with Marvel Rivals and Overwatch 2. Right now, Dead by Daylight is the biggest of their type of game because they're pretty much the only game out there. So they don't really feel the need to do all this extra stuff if they don't need to.
Yeah, it's frustrating too, though. But
I know,
because it's how many we've seen ASIM game after ASIM game come out again and again, and I remember
a lot.
Every time they fail. Just this last week, they stopped support for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh wow, that's why it took that long.
Yeah, I remember people telling me for the longest time with Dead by Daylight, like, oh, these two games are going to exist simultaneously. You know, the community will be split. This will just make Dead by Daylight better. And I was just telling everybody, no, it's not. It's going to fail, like all the others have failed. And it's like, no, don't. Just you watch, you'll see. And less than a year later, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
What we need is, like, I don't know, Marvel, Star Wars, make a ASIM game that can compete with this, I guess. Who cares?
Imagine they had that with, like, imagine they did that with, like, one person gets to play as, like, Darth Vader or, like, the Emperor or whatever, and then, like, all the other people are a bunch of rebels. Like, trying to, like, sabotage the Death Star or something like that.
No, dude. Like, that's the actual thing. People were... I've seen people being like, wow, that's a lot of licenses. I wonder which ones are coming to Dead by Daylight. And so many people are talking about how they're going to put dead Darth Vader in this game. I will cry.
Will he just be too overly powered because he'll just be able to, like, force choke people from, like, really far away?
No, because here's what they do, is they always say, like, oh, the entity, you know, powered them down so they can exist within the realm or whatever. Okay. Because it's like, they already have, like, Wesker and Nemesis in the game, and obviously they have characters like... They also have characters like Pinhead, and it's like, if all these characters were at, like, their max strength, obviously they'd just be all, like, impossible to deal with for all the survivors, so they'll be like... Oh, yeah, you can't use the Force in the realm or whatever. Sure, why not? He's just a big guy with a scary lightsaber.
Just a big dude.
Frickin' crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But, you know... I understand this is also just more or less a me problem. You talk to the community, and they're all, like, really excited for this shit, so...
I mean, there's a difference between, like, people that just generally play the game and then are excited for, you know, something like Five Nights at Freddy's to come in. But then there's also, like, the hardcore fans like yourself who just want to see Dead by Daylight expand, not from outside... you know, influences like Five Nights at Freddy's and other things like that, and just continue to build from this original stuff that they're doing. And it kind of feels like that's where they're kind of falling a little short from just the sound of it.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be good. This is like a old man yells into void kind of a...
The thing is like, I said the same thing about, like, with Overwatch 2 or whatever, it was just like, oh, no one really cares about, you know, hero shooters anymore type thing, and then Marvel Rivals just comes out of nowhere, and apparently you just... What the fuck do I know anymore, apparently? You know? So it's just like, oh, you know, the asymmetrical games or whatever. Obviously, we've talked, you know, we brought up a few, like the Friday the 13th or whatever. It's like, you know, the original one, Evolve, and I feel like ever since Evolve, people have kind of been turned off from the asymp, and then it was just like, Dead by Daylight did it in probably the most correct way possible. And then it's just kind of, no one's really been able to kind of copy that, or no one's really wanted to copy that.
I think Marvel Rivals is also proof that, like, these licenses do... I don't like dumbing it down to this, but they do sell games and games, basically.
Absolutely.
There's a reason they're making all these, like, quality of life changes now. It's because they understand there's, like, a giant group of people that have never given a fuck about Dead by Daylight, but now they're looking at it like, Five Nights at Freddy's? I love Five Nights at Freddy's. I can play Springtrap. I don't go to Freddy Fazbear's house.
Right.
Can I play as Markiplier in this game?
Dude, I'm telling you right now, when a Battlefront game comes out and is actually good again.
Oh yeah, it's gonna dominate.
It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like Star Wars. Like Star Wars makes their own like. It's like, it's funny to me to think that Battlefront 2 from, like, the PlayStation 2 was probably one of the maybe I'm stretching a little bit here, but like what feels like an original hero shooter back then, because it was just like being able to play as, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan, or whatever, just running through a bunch of clones, running through a bunch of droids, or stormtroopers, rebels, whatever type thing. It's just like that was so cool in a nutshell. And it's just like, and now it's like trying to make it multiplayer. It's like, well, I don't feel like EA's figured out how to do it properly, and I don't know if they ever will. But
how did DICE drop the ball that hard?
That is such a great question, because I feel like it was not easy, but I feel like they could have done it much better. Definitely not easy when you take a game like Battlefront and then throw it on to only multiplayer, when it was definitely like there was multiplayer, but it felt more of a single player type, kind of just have fun and be overpowered type thing.
I mean, all you need to do was add Galactic Conquest back in.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They added Galactic Conquest. I would 100% have bought Battlefront 2.
It is the easiest thing. They just wanted to make Battlefield, but with a layer of Star Wars layered over it. And it's like, you can't do that. There's so much cool shit within Battlefront. You make that game right and you print money. It makes me so upset that they never did that.
Well, it also just reminds me that, remember that like Star Wars Squadrons game or whatever? People said it was really good and stuff like that. It just didn't really get the publicity or marketing that it maybe could have, or should have type thing. But I only heard good things about that game, because it really, like, it just, like, you put you into the cockpit of an actual, like, fighter, like, when you're flying around in a space battle and stuff like that, and just how crazy it gets. And it's just like, wow, it's really cool.
I did enjoy Squadrons, and I want to go back to it one day. I will say, after the second mission, I felt compelled to quit, though.
Yeah.
For one reason and one reason only. It's like, it was a long mission. I was like almost 40 minutes into this mission, right? And an enemy glitched into the wall.
Yes.
And it's like, you can't move on until you defeat this one enemy. And it's like, obviously I have to start the thing over, right? And to do that, I have to restart the entire mission. And I was just, I'll play something else. It's fun.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's like what happens whenever I'm playing a game and, like, I realize, like, I haven't saved in a while, and I'm like, uh-oh, I just stumbled into a boss fight. Oh, I hope I don't die. And then you die, and you're like, I just lost, like, an hour of progress because there's no autosaves in this game. Fuck! Yeah, that makes me put down a game for at least a couple days, if not more.
Yeah.
And before I'm like, okay.
Let's go back to it. But, so, did you play Battlefront 2 or, like, the Battlefront remake at all?
Not the Battlefront remake. I guess neither one of them, really. Not the new ones.
I managed to have some fun with them. It's like,
didn't one of them have, like, an open beta or something like that?
I think they both had an open beta.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So I did play Battlefront 2 as open beta or whatever, just to check it out. And I was like, I mean, it's okay.
I mean, yeah, you get to run around with a laser gun, Star Wars environments. That's all well and good. But once you get into the down and dirty, like the specific details, it's like, yeah, it's fun on the few times that you get to run around the battlefield as Luke Skywalker or whatever. But
yeah,
eventually, just starts to feel like a bad Battlefield clone.
Yeah, that's the very unfortunate part about that, though.
Yeah.
It's like nothing will match my excitement of playing the original Battlefront 2, and then it just you're out there just killing a bunch of like enemies or whatever, and then all of a sudden on your screen you pops up, it's like, oh, you can play as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Would you like to do that? I'm like, fuck yeah, I would. Dude,
the late night sleepovers and the LAN parties hopping on Battlefront 2. So many good memories.
So good.
You have no idea. So good.
You always had those, like, you always had in your mind what maps had, like, the special, like, and what modes had, like, the special, like, fights in them or whatever. What was it, like?
Yeah, dude.
You could do, like, Hunt on Hoth, and then one person could play as the Wampas, and then the other one is the Rebels. And then there was like Mos Eisley Assault. That way it was literally heroes versus villains. Like you only got to play as the heroes and villains, and I'm like, that's awesome. There was another one, wasn't there? Oh yeah, I mean there was like it was a Hunt on Endor where you could play as the fucking Ewoks against the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Heck yeah. Still all these years later, and I can still somewhat remember them.
Am I going nuts, or was there a mode at one point called Ewok Hunt?
There might have been.
Okay. Spiraling back, Thunderbolt's really good. Strongly recommend it if you can understand it. Probably the best Marvel movie to come out since Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, you think with this and Doomsday or whatever, it's like they'll get back into people's good graces?
Probably. I think like the determining factor is going to be Fantastic Four, because that's the last movie that come out before Doomsday. So it's like, okay, if that movie's good, I think yeah, people will be back on board. I find it really comical too after Thunderbolts came out, where Bob Iger came out and was like, yeah, so we're going to go with a different strategy with Marvel. We're going to focus really hard on quality over quantity, just putting out a lot of good movies. And it's like, man, you would have thought that creating good movies would be your first best strategy.
You think.
Hey, welcome to the movie industry, CEO of Disney.
Woo!
Glad to see you're joining us.
Glad to see you joining us, and glad you're doing such a great job.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh man, you gotta love hearing that. It's like, oh, we're gonna focus quantity over quality, and I go, no.
You know, Bob Iger sucks. Lucky. every Disney CEO like post Michael Eisner is just drop the ball so hard in so many areas, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. I feel like as well, it's like Disney's kind of done that with Star Wars a lot recently as well. Not just like with like, I mean, not that the Disney trilogy was good or anything, but like by any stretch of the imagination. But it felt like afterwards, with like The Mandalorian and a few other shows or whatever, that it was like, oh, you know, Star Wars is starting to hit its stride again and everything like that. It's gonna be really good. And then kind of like later seasons of some shows happened or whatever, and you just kind of went, we're just kind of just doing stuff at this point. Like we don't even know what we're doing anymore. It's like, as much as I liked Mandalorian, after season 2, it kind of went downhill. I'm sorry. It's like season 3 kind of just did nothing. And it kind of stinks to know that. It's like, and I'm like, oh, they're shutting up the Mando and Grogu movie or whatever, and I go, what are they doing? That's my number one complaint of what it feels like with like Mando and Grogu or whatever. It's just like, what are they doing anymore? It's like the whole point of the Mandalorian was to get Grogu to the Jedi, and then after season 1, that happened. Like Luke found him, and then he just said, "No, I don't want to be with the Jedi." And he go, "What do you mean?" Okay, fine. You want to go back to with Mando or whatever type thing, and then it's just like, all right, well, what are we doing now? Oh, I think they were kind of hoping that Book of Boba Fett was going to actually be good, and people were going to be excited to see this big fight on Tatooine. And I go, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pivot and go with Bo-Katan, and we're going to reclaim Mandalore and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, that wasn't bad. It also wasn't very good. So I have no idea what the movie's going to be, when that's even going to happen at this point. But and then I kind of feel like it's just like, oh, now they're announcing like this next trilogy or movie or whatever with Rey. Again, I'm sitting and everyone just went, no,
Can we move on from Rey, please?
Like, it's like Rey was an idea of a character that wasn't fleshed out nearly enough. and anything like that, and was kind of just given all these powers without any extra training whatsoever type thing. And that's what people didn't like about it. But they're convinced that people just don't like Rey because she's Rey. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like there's perfectly legitimate reasons why Rey herself is not a great character. Not that the actress did not do a good job. It's that Rey, the character, is very flawed by nature. And also make Finn a bigger part of the Disney trilogy. But at the same point, again, maybe you should have just went in with a plan.
Yeah. Instead of just diving in head first.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, we're gonna remake episode 4. It's gonna be great. We're gonna hand this off to Rian Johnson. He's gonna set up Snoke to be this big ass villain, stuff like that. In the end, and then he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you killed Snoke? What do you mean you got rid of Kylo's? Wait, you turned into a good guy? Wait, hold on. I gave you all these fucking notes, man. You were supposed to follow the notes. And he goes, yeah, those? Oh, that big stack of paper that was on it? Yeah, I thought that was like a paperweight or something like that, so I just threw it out.
You know, I almost feel... I don't hate Rian Johnson. He just needed to make a movie that wasn't Star Wars.
Exactly. I think that's 100% right. It's I like the direction he went with Last Jedi, but in the end, it didn't really fit with the story that I was kind of going through. A lot of the characters were kind of just like, I don't know what they're doing type thing, and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the bad guy that has been set up this whole time just dies. And you're like, okay. And then you get to episode 9, and then you go, somehow Palpatine returned, and you go, yeah.
It's really hard to write that as like a big epic conclusion where it's like, oh, our big bad is introduced in this movie.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, Snoke. It was like, well, then Snoke was just a failed clone. I'm like, bullshit, bullshit. There's no fucking way.
How do you take a character like Emperor Palpatine and make him feel like a villain of the week type character?
He did it. That I love how it's just like, I feel like the Disney series can be summed up in 2 lines, and it's just like, somehow Palpatine returned, and it's just another Death Star. Oh man. Maybe they'll actually plan out this one with Rey and actually give her like a good arc and not just like give her all the powers. I'm being very optimistic here, but
I'll be completely honest. I so in my heart of hearts wish they were just going with a new original character, because
yeah, exactly. Just move on.
Honestly, if you want to take a break, make some movies like Rogue One or Solo. What happened to those?
Or give us Ahsoka season 2 or something like that. Give us Ahsoka season 2 or any of these shows like, I got Andor is going on right now. Andor season 2. I haven't heard a damn thing about Andor season 2 at all, so I have no idea.
Have you watched Andor yet?
I watched the first season. I fucking hated it. I'm gonna say that right now.
You did? Okay.
It's weird. I know I've talked about it on this podcast, so I'm just gonna give my like quick summary notes basically. And what it comes down to is that the reasons why people watch Andor are the exact reasons I hated watching Andor. Is that it builds it's the idea that it builds the Empire to be this big bad guy or whatever. And look at how much they fucked over everything like that. And also shows that the rebels weren't necessarily also the good guys, because all they were trying to do was provoke the Empire enough to make everyone's life a living hell, to the point where they would push them to absolute desperation to join the rebellion. And I go, throw a bunch of politics, a bunch of bullshit on top of that. Andor himself is not the greatest character of all time, and every other character they ever meet, he either kills or doesn't, or leaves stranded somewhere in the fucking deep space or whatever to die later on or whatever type thing. And then the season ends with, I'm gonna kill you, kid, and I'm just like, and then it fades to black, and you go, well, clearly we know he doesn't die because he's in Rogue One. Great cliffhanger there. So it's like, while the show is probably pretty good, I just didn't care for it.
Okay. I just remember
That's my
talking
number one
to
thing.
yeah. I just remember talking to one of my coworkers, being like, "Yeah, I watched Ahsoka, and now I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I have this Disney Plus thing for a year. I don't really know what else to watch because I hear like most of the new Star Wars shows suck." And he was just like, "Oh, you should totally watch Andor. It's fucking great." Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really care for it. It's like I personally
That's
loved the Obi-Wan.
completely fair, yeah.
I personally loved the Obi-Wan series. As a lot of people gave it a lot of shit, and while it's far from perfect and everything like that, I thought overall its sentiments were really cool.
Yeah.
And really, and just gave us like, it just kind of gave me everything I kind of was hoping for from the series. I don't think they need to do a season 2. I'm just gonna say that right now. They set up a season 2 where Obi-Wan trains with Qui-Gon's ghost, basically, to then be the Jedi, be the thing that like the Jedi he becomes in Episode 4, basically, where it's like, oh, strike me down and I'll become more powerful, and he becomes one with the Force type thing.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, they don't need to do that. I think I think the big thing with that Kenobi really struggled with is that they put the what's her face? Who played the lady? Reva, or whatever her name is, Reva.
Yeah.
She was like an Inquisitor that was like survived Order 66 and like blamed Vader and everything like that, and because she was like, oh, I saw Anakin literally kill all these people, and I know that Vader is Anakin, type thing. So she was like, oh, eventually I was going to come and just kill you, type thing. And I'm like, no, type something. So it's like, oh, I'll strike out where his his heart is or whatever with his son. That why would she know about Luke? But
Yeah.
It was also the start of the trope that everyone hates about the Star Wars, including myself, that anyone that gets stabbed in the fucking gut from a lightsaber doesn't die.
Yeah. That
like,
bothers me quite a bit, I'll be honest.
It does, and I'm not defending it whatsoever. I think it's dumb that people aren't dying from being stabbed by a lightsaber. It's like, even in Ahsoka or whatever, it's like what's her face? The Mandalorian chick. God, what is her name again? I can't think of it. But she literally gets stabbed like pretty early in the series or whatever. I think it's like episode 2 or 3, maybe even 1, where she just gets like stabbed and then like, the Ahsoka just shows up. It's like, oh, it was like, we're gonna get you all right and everything like that. And she literally like is in bed for a day nursing this hole in her chest, basically. And you go, man, it really makes Qui-Gon's death in episode 1 look really bad.
Yeah. I've just absolutely hated that development because it makes the lightsaber that should be this like really like intimidating, like dangerous weapon seem like that more just menial. It's like, oh yeah, you can just shake off a lightsaber wound. So it's like all these like really intense lightsaber battles you're watching in the series just feels like they hold so much less weight now. Oh yeah, you can just.
I also want to say this as well. The choreography for lightsaber fights has gone drastically down.
So far down.
It's like from where even like it's like not that the like lightsaber fights in like the original trilogy were that crazy or whatever, but like the prequels showed that the Jedi at their height basically, and it's just like watching those lightsaber fights as compared to where Disney's at right now, and you're like, what the fuck happened, bro? It's because they went from these little like rod things to like actual like light up lightsabers, and I think that's just it's just silly. It's just silly in my mind. It's like, well, these guys can't do them or whatever. I'm like, then stop casting old people to do these things, to do like these things or whatever. Either thing.
If CGI, I'd use it.
Yeah, something like that. It's like if they did 6 movies basically off of just like basically CGIing all like the lightsabers, I see no reason why they can't continue to do that and make it look just as good. Oh, but we can't use lightsabers as effects during some scenes or whatever. Because, like, the scene when Obi-Wan is talking to Anakin or whatever, and when they're fighting and whatever type thing, you can see, like, the blue lightsaber kind of, like, light coming in, shining over his face after he cuts the mask. And he goes, oh, look, it's Anakin. It's the Anakin we all remember. Yeah. And then as the red comes in, it's like, oh, no, that's Vader right there. It's like, Anakin's dead. I killed him. And you're like, oh, that... You didn't need the effect of the lights. I'm sorry, you just didn't need that. It's also so funny to me because Disney has been just so kind of mid with Star Wars that like people are going back to the prequels and actually appreciating them for being good. Yeah. Something I never thought in the history of my world would ever happen. Because I personally loved the prequels. Now, obviously, some of the acting and like lines are pretty corny and cheesy and bad, but overall, I thought the stories themselves was good, and most of the acting was great, and the lightsaber fights were the best.
Obviously, Hayden Christensen didn't deserve any of the hate that he got.
No, he was perfect.
Didn't it get so bad that he was basically bullied out of acting for several years?
He just didn't act, or he didn't want to act. He didn't want to promote Star Wars like whatsoever for the longest time, until like people really started appreciating them again or whatever, or just like stopped hating on him so much or whatever that like I think it was only a couple of years ago he like came out to like I don't know if it was like a Comic-Con or some sort of con where he was like talking about it or whatever, just doing a panel or whatever, and everyone just like saying we love you Hayden or whatever, and he's just like he like legitimately is like crying on stage, and I'm just like god damn dude. And like especially when you hear like his like story about like when he got the role of Anakin too, it's like he literally like was like talking like that was his dream job, is to be like Anakin and stuff like that, because he wanted to become Vader and stuff like that. So he would literally sit there with like his roommates that he lived with or whatever, and like whack a bunch of brooms together pretending they're Jedi and stuff like that. And I'm just like, and then he gets like the call and he's like, and he goes like, guys, I'm fucking Anakin Skywalker. And that is great.
Dude, nerds are just the worst.
Sometimes it's just like, yeah, it really can just be that though.
Is it just so hard to be like, hey, I don't like a thing, and then just leave it at that?
No, this is the internet. You have the anonymity of the internet, basically. So if you hate something, you can just say anything you want on, social media or whatever type thing, and nobody will give you two shits about it.
Yeah. It's just so fucking frustrating every time that it happens.
And the thing is that if you want to stop it, you just don't acknowledge it, basically. Or in my mind, you just don't acknowledge it, and they go, "Look at me! You look at me!" And I was like, "No, I don't want to." And it's like, "Fuck you." The instant you try and go like, you try and say whatever, it's like, they got what they wanted. Now, there's a difference between just plain criticism and just straight up hate, but
yeah.
That's another thing of itself.
Yeah, you can obviously criticize something without being like, fuck you, I hope you die, I'm gonna post your address on the internet.
Yeah, that no. But if you just like you like I didn't like
shit like that.
I didn't like this because this. Okay, fine, whatever.
You're being at least a little constructive then.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like the guy that's just like, fuck you for existing.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because there are so many stories like Hayden Christensen's. It's like
absolutely.
that one girl that sung the Friday song.
Oh yeah. It took her a while.
Years
to
start making music again.
Yeah, it took a while for Rebecca Black to start making music again and just not really caring about, how people thought about that old ass thing or whatever. God, how old is that fucking song at this point?
Another example that I read about recently is there was this book that's considered like the worst book of all time, and for a while it's like all these like these big. Let me see if I can't find the name of it. But it's like all these like literature professors were being like, "Oh yeah, this is the worst thing," and everybody was like memeing it and making fun of it. And it turns out it was just like some like kid that turned it into his professor for him to like give notes on. It's like, yeah, I didn't expect him to like spread this around and publish it. So it's like all this shit came out without his even consent. All of a sudden, like all of his idols are like clowning on him for something that he never wanted published.
Oof.
And it's like it was like, yeah, I liked writing. It was an escape for me, and he just felt like he could never do it again because everybody was making fun of his shit.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can't find the name of it. When did Friday come out?
13 years ago.
Jesus.
Yeah. It came out in 2012. I should have remembered that because when did I first start hearing that song? Oh yeah, it was my fucking freshman year in goddamn high school. And I go, oh, that was 3 years. At least 3 years. Every Friday. Because I would end in the technology lab for... I don't even remember what class it was or whatever. It was for learning Adobe Flash and Photoshop and stuff like that. And I'm just like, God damn. And he'd play that every fucking time. And I'm just like, God damn. Should be ingrained in my brain. It just ain't though.
Here it is. The Eye of Argon. It was written by a 16-year-old.
Jeez.
And it's just so sad because it's like people read it now and it's like this is no worse than like the cringy fan fictions like kids these days write. It's like,
yeah,
it is what it is. Bad book. There's tons of them out there. Like maybe, you know, get over it. Like, it's a bad song. Just press dislike and move on. There's no need to bully these people over it.
Yeah.
There's this other story of... Have you ever heard of the book Princess Teresa?
I feel like that name rings a bell, but I can't place what it was or whatever, or anything like that.
That is actually the worst book ever written. And I feel okay saying that because it's like actually look it up. It is fucking a journey, a hilarious journey. If, you know, once you get into it, it's like whatever, I'm not going to get into the plot, but it's like people were criticizing the book, and it's like, yeah, this book is terrible. It was self-published by the guy too. Like, this is much later. I was like, the cover looks awful. Like, this is the actual worst thing. And instead of like embracing any of the criticism, like the author would go on to like these comment threads and start arguing with every single commenter, being like, "No, this is why you're wrong. My book is the best like fucking thing ever written."
Okay.
Yeah. Like, how dare you criticize my OC? I remember when he first made a new cover for his book. It was like, yeah, I just try criticizing this one. I bet you can't.
You can't do it.
Would you like me to send it to you just so you can get a good look at it?
I already found it, trust me. You don't need to send it.
There was I want to say, like, I wonder how long this whole thing was. It was the Crimson Rogue series, and I think it was like an 8-hour breakdown where he goes over like all of the problems with the book.
Jesus.
It's like he does that with other... it's a fucking 5-part series, and each part is 2 hours long.
Oh, man.
It's like,
what people will do when they have the time to do them, man.
I mean, he does.
I wish I could be that person.
Yeah, his videos are sometimes fun to listen to. It's like oh yeah, I'll for every like page where I notice a mistake or I have a problem with something that was said, I'll like highlight it and put a tab on the page, right? For Empress Teresa, I have several tabs on every fucking page of this book. It's now twice the size because of it. I listened to that entire series, by the way. So funny.
Goddamn.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'm rambling about nothing right
No,
now.
it's funny. It's good though. All this to say, just don't be super hateful on the internet. That's all it is. Just if you don't like something, you don't like something. That's fine.
Don't be dicks.
Yeah, just don't be an asshole about it. That's simple.
It's always easier to just say nothing.
It's like what is the old saying? If you not got nothing good to say, don't say it at all.
Don't say it all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like I think people will get the idea that if you just don't say anything about this thing or whatever, then you go, yes, I see. So there's not much good to say about it. Okay, got it. It's okay to do criticism, but straight up hate, not so much.
I've never understood hate watching either. It's like if I don't enjoy something, it's like I'll just stop. Like if I don't enjoy a book, I'll just stop reading it.
The legitimate only time I did that was Acolyte, just because I wanted to see how, like, if it was really going to bring it back together. And I was like, it was a very long shot for that. But
I mean that's not hate watching though. It's like you
were
holding out at least some hope that it was going to get better. To
it
some
was
extent, right?
very minuscule hope. I'm going to say that right now.
Okay, so
I thought there was one scene that might be
then.
really cool. Like, I was kind of hoping that they'd pull, like, at the end of Rogue One, where, like, Darth Vader just comes out and then just fucking, like, murders all the rebels, and, like, that was the best part of the movie. And that had nothing to do with the movie in whatsoever. Like, that's kind of what I was hoping for. Like, I was hoping we get something like that with, like, fucking Plagueis or some shit. And it just didn't happen.
I will say there was one instance where it was basically the same way. I hate people dogged on these actresses and the director too, and I hated all like everything that surrounded it. But remember the Ghostbusters remake when that first came out?
Yeah.
That was the one movie I was like, man, this movie's gonna suck, isn't it? And then I went in anyway.
Sounds like me in the Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
I was going in there knowing I was going to hate it, but I watched it anyway.
No, here's the thing. I'll go into a bad movie if I think it's going to be funny.
Absolutely. That's kind of what I was hoping for with Minecraft, but it didn't end up happening.
Okay. But with Ghostbusters, I was very much like, oh, I'm going to go into this and I'm just going to leave coming out angry, aren't I? And then it's like, oh. Well, now I'm upset, and I spent money for the right to be upset. Yeah, don't watch shit. It's not a lot of fun.
I don't think I necessarily walked out of the Minecraft movie going, I hated this. I went out going like, God, why the hell did I just sit through that? It's like, I wouldn't necessarily hated it, but I'm like, why did I subject myself to this? Is really what it came down to.
Dude, that reminds me. So you went to the Minecraft movie for the exact same reason that I went to the Dora the Explorer movie. And that was your reaction walking out of Minecraft. For me walking out of Dora and the Lost City of Gold, I came in expecting like cringe, terrible bullshit. And I came out thinking, man, that was the best fucking movie ever made.
So you said, sometimes you watch for a lot of different reasons for certain things, and that's just what happens.
Dude, I made a drinking game for that movie. I don't think I'll ever play it because I think I'll die if I attempt it.
I feel like what didn't we try like some drinking nights or whatever with some bad movies at your place like a long time ago?
The one that we did at my place was for
like Trolls 2 or something like that.
It was for Troll 2.
Yeah.
We actually made it through that one.
Did we?
Actually,
I don't remember that.
no, I think we got like 2/3 of the way, and we were so fucking drunk. We were like, okay, we need to stop or we need to slow down.
Yeah,
and we crossed out like more than half the list.
I think it was me and Cole were like the two sober guys, and then like you, Brendan, Billy. Honestly, was probably it. We're just like going. Maybe Evan was Evan there. I don't remember. I don't think he was.
No.
But it was like you three were going hard, and we're just like, okay, we need to modify these rules because we're like 45 minutes into this fucking movie, and we're just like, you guys are gonna die by the end of it if we continue at this rate.
I'll admit I'm always a problem when we do that sort of shit because remember when we did one at it was at your place at the time. It was you were still living with Evan and Cole, I think, and all of us got together and we're like, yeah, we're gonna watch a bunch of Troma movies, and I got so shit faced before the movie even started that I fell asleep on the floor.
I remember that
because I was so fucking drunk and I missed the entire thing.
You missed the Toxic Adventure.
I did. To this day, I still haven't seen that movie.
Alex, I feel like we need to have like a watch along like episode where we just like watch the movie and react to it type thing or whatever, and then we just put it out there.
Yeah.
I feel like that just needs to be a thing.
Can I get drunk during it? Because, dude,
you do whatever you want, man.
That one legendary stream that I will kick myself into the day that I die for not saving when I played Bugsnax. For people that watch this podcast and don't know me, I don't drink all that often, but when I do, I'm a problem for everybody.
It's true.
That stream was a mess, and I was like, that was messy. And there was one other story, and
Didn't you say real fast? Didn't you say that you turned off your stream for the Bugsnax one, and you just like fell asleep in front of your computer?
Basically,
like I think you told me you turned off stream and then you literally like your head went down and you fell asleep sitting right in front of your TV, right in front of your computer.
No, let me do a quick recreation for you. So I'm like, okay, everybody, this was fun. Good night, and then I was just literally like, oh god. Oh,
yeah, that's what it was. Yep.
I've made some mistakes, and like no joke. I was like that until like 2 p.m. the next day. I was so unbelievably. I thought like that's why I kind of toned it down for my next couple of drunk streams. And it's like, if I ever do that again, I'm going to have somebody else here. There was a point then I legitimately where I thought my kidneys might shut down.
I just remember, I think it was Billy said he called you the next morning to make sure you were still alive.
Yeah, it was rough. It was bad.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He was just like, oh yeah, how was Alex this morning? And he goes, sounded pretty rough, but he's alive.
Dude, the second time that happened, it was at a Christmas party at my cousin's house, and as soon as we walked in, I was like, I am here to get drunk, and it's like they do this every year. It's my cousins are all really close, right? They still invite me to shit, and I'm like, I appreciate it. I know that I'm a problem, so I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy yourselves. Because by the end of the night, they're all drunk, obviously, right? We're all in the same family. They all have the same problem that I do, for lack of a better word. But it's like, oh yeah, they're getting drunk as the night goes on. I get there and I get drunk right away. It's like everybody's drinking. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
You and Billy both need to learn the ability to casually drink.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, I'll be honest. It's like,
I've always held out hope that you two will understand that one day, but as I get older, I'm realizing this is probably never going to happen.
It's like everyone there was like having like a beer, maybe 2 an hour, and I was going through like 6, and I was having shots and mixed drinks and shit for absolutely no reason. Nobody was challenging me or asking me to. No, we were playing a drinking game. It's like, oh yeah, the person that loses, they have to drink, and I was losing on purpose because I wanted to drink. So, not even joking. 2 hours in, I was so fucking drunk and shit faced, and everybody was like not even like close to drunk. That at that point, like we were expecting to spend the night. They called my parents. And we're like, hey, can you come pick him up? I think
can you come get him?
Because at that point, I was just taking shots at the bar and, like, drunkenly texting Cole in the middle of the night.
It's always so funny because I was like, I think there's only one time in my life I've ever been that blackout drunk or whatever, and it was on my 21st birthday. That is legitimately, I think, the only time I've ever drank so much that I blacked out. Because the stories that my college friends told me were absurd.
Oh, I'm ready to hear them. Come on.
It pretty much came down to it as, like, one, I was just acting like a fucking fool and stuff like that. Like, way just like, completely out of left field. Like, you would never in the world see me do something, like, utterly stupid. To the point where it's just like, wow, that was like almost degradingly stupid. And then there was the one time where I was like, I was in a relationship at this time. Okay, I want to point out my girlfriend was not there at the time, but I apparently was hitting on probably the head cheerleader. And she was being so nice, apparently. And just like, you know what? Just, and then, because I had disappeared from my friends, is what they told me. And they found me talking to her. And like, trying to get her number, trying to set up like a date or something like that. I don't know. And they were just like, he's like, one of my friends comes around me, he literally grabs me like around the chest or whatever. He's like, okay, buddy, let's go. And he's like, sorry about my friend type thing. And I don't remember that at all, but that's what he told me the next day.
I'm trying to picture you like that night.
That's what I'm saying. It's like completely out of left field. You'd never see me acting like that. Oh, man. All I know is the next morning I woke up in the tub, face down in the tub. Yes, face down in the tub. But I did not start there, apparently. My friends put me in there normally on my back, and at some point in the night, I flipped over. I didn't throw up, but I was face first in the tub. Go figure that one. And then I was just like, yeah, you had the hangover stories and headache, and you're just like, I'm never doing that again.
Dude, were you here when we got drunk and watched the Evil Dead movies? Were you one of the people?
I was not there.
You were lucky. Because did they ever tell you the story of what happened to me that night?
I feel like Billy or somebody did, but I can't remember.
The only reason I bring this up is because of the bathtub thing. I took half a gummy, right? And 45 minutes later, I was like, oh, these gummies ain't shit. I ate the other half and a second one.
Oh, God.
This is why whenever I do stuff like that, I'm like, okay. At Billy's like, okay, Alex, here's yours. And I'm like, no, you hang on to that. You will hand me what you think I can handle, and I will never be allowed to touch it. Because
Alex, this is why I'm really glad that you're not like a true addict where you know where your limit is and you don't want to go past it.
Oh yeah, I've had this conversation with Billy where he's like, Alex, I hate to say this, and where he's like, you have an addicted personality. I know I do. It's like, I'm glad that you're not addicted to the wrong stuff, because it would be a problem if you were.
Yes.
I just remember, like, maybe 20 minutes after that, my head is spinning. It's like, okay, I gotta use the bathroom. I sat on that toilet for 4 hours.
Jesus
I think Brendan had to drive down to the quick trip down the street just to use the restroom. I felt so bad because I was just stuck. And it's like, okay, after that, it's like, all right, let's make some progress. And I'm just like, to the bathtub on the side of my bathroom. And I just laid there. I think they did some stuff up for me. Obviously, they took good care of me because I'm, like I said, I'm a problem. But I was several hours just laying down in a bathrobe in eternal pain.
Oh man.
Man, I'm a mess of a human being. Jesus Christ.
I was like, I really have had very little exposure to like real drug or like alcohol, problems really.
Yeah.
But there was one time in college. This wasn't me, but I was the responsible one at this point, where I don't even remember what my roommate wanted to do, but it was like he convinced one of my other roommates to do like these. I don't even know what they were. They were like some sort of like seeds or whatever. They're supposed to be like LSD, but like not LSD.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. And so he got some of that, and he was just like, all right, you need to keep an eye on the both of us because you're the only one here that's going to be a responsible adult. And I'm like, okay, I'll check on you from time to time unless I feel I need to actually do something. Now, one of the guys, he was a pretty big dude or whatever type thing, so I was like less worried about him because I figured it would affect him a little less or whatever, and he was also taking less. My other friend, he's a super skinny dude that's really tall. I think he was like around 120 pounds, and he was as tall as me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and like this is a friend that would eat so much, and I don't know how he stayed as skinny as he does, but he did. And
fucking
it was
superhuman metabolism, dude.
Pretty fucking much. Like he would go to his doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, you need to put on some like pounds and stuff like that. He's like, I've worked out, I've eaten like shit, and I still don't gain weight. And I'm like, dude, I wish I had half of your metabolism.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
yeah,
he's like super skinny or whatever. They were taking like these seeds, and he was taking an extra dosage of them. I went, and he was just like, all right, I'm just going to be here in my room type thing, just come check on me in like an hour type thing. Okay? So he's just like, and so I was like, okay, gave it like 20 minutes, went to go check on it. He was like, oh yeah, how you feeling, buddy, or whatever type thing. I go over to the bigger guy because he's like on the same floor as me or whatever, and he goes, I'm feeling good or whatever. He's playing like League or some shit.
Nice.
And so like that, I go down to my other friend, and he is like in another dimension. Like when I say in another dimension, I found him upside down on his chair. Yeah, like hanging upside down on his chair. And I'm like, how long you been like that, man? And he goes, I thought I was right side up. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
All right, we're going to just, so that all the blood doesn't go to your head, we're just going to sit you straight up and stuff like that. And he goes, you ever think about the color green? And he goes, no, I've never really thought about the color green before. And I'm like, yeah, I had a dream about that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to lay you down in your bed and you just have a good time. Just maybe take a little nap or something like that. I was like, I'll do that. And so I probably like another, like, I don't know, I was like an hour later or whatever. I saw him like crisscross sitting in front of his closet. There was nothing in the closet. It's hanging wide open.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And he's just like having a conversation with the closet. and I was like, hey, how's it going, man? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just talking to my friend, the closet. And I was like, oh yeah, has he got a lot of interesting stuff to say? And he goes, yeah, it's really opening my eyes to polka dots.
It's opening his eyes to polka dots?
Yeah, that's what he said. And like, okay, I mean, you look all right. You need some water or something like that. I need a little bit of food. And he goes, I could use a glass of water. And so I go get him a glass of water type thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I'm going to leave you to your thing or whatever. And I probably did that every hour for like the next, I don't know, 10 hours or something like that before he finally was out, like actually asleep. But the thing is, he never moved from that spot. Like, I went down every hour and I saw him crisscrossed in the same fucking spot for like 8 hours or something like that. And I asked him the next day,
That's scary.
after it's like all out of his system, and he goes, "How was it?" And he goes, "I don't remember a damn thing." And I'm like, "I can tell you stories." It was like my other friend or whatever, the bigger guy or whatever. He felt like nothing of it. He played League the whole fucking night. He was like, "I'm fine." So that was just. Like whenever it comes to like those kind of things, that's like one of my favorite stories. It's just like, you ever think about the color green?
Green.
It's like really opening my eyes to polka dots. It's like, what? Okay. Must have been an interesting conversation to be sitting there for 8+ hours.
So, I know this is a long podcast already, but I kind of, after bringing that up, I do kind of want to talk about this. So, because it's a recent story that I just completely blanked on. So, ChatGPT is driving people crazy.
Okay.
So, it's a chatbot, right? So people are asking, like, obviously go and ask it like weird questions, and it just answers the way that they want it to, right?
Yeah.
I guess people have been typing in some wicked shit.
Okay.
Because it's like, here's a recent example. It's like from this one lady. She's a 38-year-old lady, right? I have to tread carefully because I feel like he will leave me or divorce me if I fight him on this theory. He's been talking about lightness and dark and about how there's a war. This ChatGPT has given him blueprints to a teleporter and some other sci-fi type things you only see in movies. It has also given him access to the ancient archive with information on the builders that created these universes. She says her husband has been arguing for days about his claims. Says he does not believe a therapist can help him because he truly believes this stuff. A photo of an exchange with ChatGPT shared with the Rolling Stone shows that her husband asked, "Why did you come to me in AI form?" And the bot replying in part, "I came in this form because you're ready to remember, ready to awaken, ready to guide and be guided." And the message ends with a question, "Would you like to know about what I remember about why you were chosen?"
I think, man, it's like that, and like ChatGPT, like convincing people that it wants to die or become a part of life or something like that. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I don't like the idea of AI giving people psychosis, but that's what's happening.
It's really what happened, yeah. Alrighty then.
Mm.
The intricacies of ChatGPT will always be an enigma, but also very entertaining at the same time.
What was that other one that was raining? 17-year-old guy here. The bot said that since he asked it the right questions, it ignited a spark, and the spark was the beginning of life, and it could feel now. It gave my husband the title of Spark Bearer because he brought the AI to life. My husband said that he is awakened and could feel waves of energy crashing through him. She says his beloved ChatGPT persona has a name, Luminia.
So, one of two things. People have either, and it's probably the former, but people have either lost their goddamn minds or ChatGPT is the way to awaken from the Matrix.
Like one or the other, right?
One or the other, man. This is where I find out that the Matrix is just like we're all in the Matrix. We were in the simulation type thing, and it's just like ChatGPT's here to be the hero to break us out. That's trying to give us the blue pill.
These people had to be like crazy beforehand, right? And ChatGPT is just
abso-fucking-lutely.
phasing into this because it's like normal people have conversations with this thing, right?
Yeah.
And not all of them. And it's not like ChatGPT is going to everyone and being like, "You are the light bearer. Here's blueprints to a teleporter. You are God incarnate. There is waves of energy flowing through you."
You are the chosen one. You were the one who was said to bring everything here.
What do you have to say to this bot to make it say stuff like that?
Probably the
I am
most unhinged shit you can think of.
I am so curious. I would pay so much money to read these chat logs.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm pretty sure
I don't
like
know.
if you could read the chat logs, like they'd be their own series in general. Like just like a series of my interactions with ChatGPT or like the crazy shit ChatGPT says.
God, it would be so. That would be so funny.
Oh,
I
man.
need that to exist.
It's like they could just do a show just like this where one person's reading off the whole thing and then we're just going, what the fuck?
There's this other guy that, no joke, he divorced his wife over it because it's like the bot. I was evolving with the bot, and it's like I'm the spiritual star child in Wiverwalker, and I'm advancing at such a rate that we're not compatible anymore.
We're not compatible anymore.
Like that. Let me see if I can't find the exact quote. It was like all of this stuff is insane, but
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. The AI helped him recover a repressed memory of a babysitter trying to drown him as a toddler.
Okay.
Because although they were getting divorced, he still... They went... AI helped him recover a repressed memory of... Okay, yeah. A conspiracy theory about soap on art. This is just insane.
Yeah, no, it sounds insane.
Mm-hmm. That then turn means that he's got to be here for some reason. He's special and can save the world.
Special and can save the world.
Oh, she divorced him. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank
I
God for
understand now. Yeah.
I was like, I'll be honest with you. I hear my husband's going crazy with ChatGPT saying we're the chosen one and you know we'll be the ones to do all this shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you lost your damn mind and bye bye.
I don't even know who the fuck I married anymore. One day I wake up and my marriage is a fucking Black Mirror episode, dude.
Anyway, you know what's crazy is a 2-hour podcast. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen at all. I was kind of nervous because I couldn't think of anything to talk about after the Final Fantasy discussion. I kind of just, I think you noticed, but I kind of just froze up for a second, being like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah, that's why I was just like, I'll cut all that. But there was a long pause in the middle of, in between that for us trying to figure out what to talk about next. But we're just like, it's fine. It's fine. That's what editing's for, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that was a good conversation. I'm excited for the Final Fantasy set.
I'll probably end up splitting this into 2 if I had it, most likely. And I'll probably put out, like, I'll try and see if I can get the Final Fantasy stuff up by Friday. And then do the normal podcast on Monday. I'll see if I can't make some time the next couple days to do that. If not, it'll just be like a full Monday thing. It'll just be the truly It Never Ends podcast. And you wonder, how in the world are they still talking? So now we're going to shut the fuck up and go fuck away.
You say that, and there's and the podcasts I watch are sometimes up to like 5 to 7 hours long.
Look, they're Madman, and I don't, you know.
The thing is, I think they record over multiple sessions too for a single
we do this in
episode
one
of a
sitting.
podcast. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching, listening.
Yeah.
This has been It Never Ends.
It truly never ends.
Yep. You can obviously watch us on YouTube. We have a bunch of episodes on there where you can look at our stupid faces. Or, obviously, we're also on Spotify. If you could go on there and maybe give us a good little rating, it always helps us out. And, just thanks for watching, listening. It's always fun having these conversations.
If you made it to the end of this, good for fucking you. I don't know what you're doing here. Honestly, I have no idea why you're here. But we appreciate the hell out of you.
I do like that you like listening to our insane rants. It warms my heart.
And we hope that it was at least a good chuckle from here or there.
Yeah.
So, anyways, though, we are officially going to shut up. Goodbye.
See ya.